The studio lights of Lorraine Kelly's show glowed softly as the familiar morning theme music faded out. Everything looked calm, polished, and perfectly controlled, just another friendly celebrity interview for millions of viewers sipping their morning tea. No one had any idea that within the next 30 minutes, the show would descend into one of the most shocking live TV moments in recent memory. Hugh Grant sat on the couch, legs crossed, hands folded neatly in his lap. At first glance, he looked composed, his trademark half-smile in place, tailored jacket sitting perfectly on his shoulders. But those who knew him well could sense it. There was tension behind his eyes, a quiet irritation he hadn't fully hidden. Lorraine Kelly beamed at the camera, warm as ever. "Welcome back," she said cheerfully. "And joining us this morning is the legendary actor Hugh Grant." "Hugh, it's lovely to have you." "Thank you," Hugh replied, nodding politely. "Nice to be here." The audience applauded, some louder than usual. Hugh Grant was a rare guest on daytime television, and his appearance had already boosted the show's ratings before it even aired. At first, the interview followed the expected script. They talked about Hugh's latest film, an indie drama receiving critical buzz. Lorraine praised his performance, calling it refreshingly honest and deeply moving. Hugh smiled. "That's very kind of you." But then, subtly, the tone shifted. Lorraine leaned forward slightly, her cue cards resting on her knee. "Now, Hugh," she said lightly, "you've always been quite outspoken, especially when it comes to fame, the media, and privacy." Hugh chuckled, though it sounded forced. "Yes, I suppose I have been," he replied. "And recently," Lorraine continued, "you made headlines again after criticizing the press for what you called relentless intrusion. Some people felt your comments were, well, a bit hypocritical, considering your long career in the spotlight." A few audience members murmured. Hugh's smile tightened. "I don't see how wanting basic human decency is hypocritical," he said calmly. Lorraine raised an eyebrow, still smiling. "But surely being a public figure comes with certain expectations, doesn't it?" There it was, the first spark. Hugh shifted in his seat. "It comes with expectations related to my work. Not my children. Not my private life." The studio felt quieter now. Lorraine laughed softly, trying to keep things light. "Of course, but the public is curious. That curiosity is part of what keeps the industry alive." Hugh looked directly at her. "At what cost?" Lorraine blinked, momentarily caught off guard. "Well," she said, "that's the balance celebrities have to strike, isn't it?" Hugh exhaled sharply. "I disagree. The balance is something the media should strike, not the people being hunted by it." The word hunted landed heavily. A producer off camera shifted uncomfortably. Lorraine adjusted in her chair. "Hugh, no one's hunting anyone. Journalists are just doing their jobs." Hugh's eyes hardened. "Then they should do them better," he replied. "With ethics." A ripple of tension spread through the studio. Lorraine's smile faltered, just slightly. "Some would say," she said carefully, "that you've benefited enormously from that same media attention over the years." Hugh let out a short laugh, dry, humorless. "Yes, and I've paid for it in ways you'll never see," he said. "Ways that don't make good television." The audience fell silent. Lorraine cleared her throat. "I'm just playing devil's advocate here." "Then you're advocating for the wrong devil," Hugh shot back. A sharp inhale echoed from somewhere in the crowd. Lorraine stared at him for a beat, then forced a chuckle. "All right, let's not get dramatic." Hugh leaned forward now, his posture no longer relaxed. "Dramatic is pretending this industry doesn't chew people up," he said. "Dramatic is smiling while invading lives." Lorraine's tone cooled. "Hugh, with respect, this is a morning show, not a courtroom." "Then stop putting people on trial," Hugh replied instantly. Gasps rippled through the studio. Lorraine's smile disappeared completely. "I think you're being unfair," she said firmly. "We're having a conversation." "No," Hugh said. "You're having a narrative. I'm just expected to nod along." The producer's voice crackled faintly in Lorraine's earpiece. She nodded subtly, then looked back at Hugh. "You agreed to come on this show," she said. "You knew the questions." "I didn't agree to be lectured," Hugh replied. The tension was now unmistakable. Lorraine crossed her arms. "I think our viewers deserve honesty. They deserve respect," Hugh said. "From all of us." The audience was frozen, unsure whether to clap or stay silent. Lorraine inhaled deeply. "Hugh, are you saying this show is disrespectful?" I'm saying, Hugh replied slowly, that this conversation has crossed a line. Lorraine's voice sharpened. You're being overly sensitive. That was it. Hugh stood up. The sudden movement startled everyone. I'm being human, he said, his voice steady but cold. And I won't sit here and be talked down to for your ratings. Lorraine looked up at him, stunned. Hugh, sit down. No, he said. A producer rushed toward the set, whispering urgently. Lorraine's face flushed. This is live television. Exactly, Hugh replied. Let them see it. He turned toward the audience. I came here to talk about my work, he said. Not to justify my existence. The camera zoomed in, unsure where to focus. Lorraine stood up too now, her voice tight. If you're not willing to engage, then perhaps this interview is over. Hugh nodded. I agree. He took a step toward the exit. Hugh, Lorraine called after him, walking off doesn't make you right. He paused, turning back one last time. Neither does smiling while crossing boundaries, he said quietly. And with that, he walked off the set. The studio erupted, half gasps, half stunned silence. Lorraine stared after him, visibly shaken, as the producers scrambled and the cameras cut abruptly to an early commercial break. Millions of viewers sat frozen in their living rooms. They knew one thing for certain. This wasn't just another celebrity tantrum. This was something much bigger. And the fallout had only just begun. The moment the cameras cut to commercials, the studio erupted into chaos. Producers rushed onto the set, voices overlapping in panicked whispers. A floor manager waved frantically toward the control room, demanding answers that no one seemed ready to give. The warm, friendly atmosphere Lorraine was known for had vanished, replaced by stunned disbelief. Lorraine Kelly remained standing, frozen in place. Her smile was gone. What the hell just happened? She muttered under her breath. A producer leaned in quickly. We're trending already, he whispered. Clips are blowing up on social media. Lorraine closed her eyes for a second, inhaling deeply. Years of live television experience told her one thing: this wasn't going away. Backstage, Hugh Grant moved briskly down the corridor, his jaw clenched, his coat already in hand. A production assistant jogged after him. Mr. Grant, please, can we talk for a moment? Hugh stopped and turned. I've said everything I needed to say, he replied calmly. On camera. But the producers want damage control. Hugh finished. I'm not interested. He walked on. Outside the studio, paparazzi had already gathered, alerted by leaked messages and frantic texts. As Hugh stepped through the exit, flashes exploded like fireworks. Hugh. Did Lorraine provoke you? Was this planned? Are you banned from the show now? Hugh stopped. The reporters fell silent, surprised. No, he said evenly. What happened was honesty. And honesty tends to make people uncomfortable. Then he got into his car and drove away. Inside the studio, Lorraine returned to her seat just as the countdown ended. We're back in 5, 4, 3. The red light blinked on. Lorraine forced a composed expression and faced the camera. Well, she began carefully, that was unexpected. The audience laughed nervously. Live television, Lorraine continued, sometimes brings out strong emotions. We respect Hugh Grant's views and wish him well. The words sounded rehearsed, but her eyes betrayed frustration. The show continued, but the mood never recovered. Every smile felt forced. Every segment rushed. Behind the scenes, executives were already arguing. He humiliated us, one said. You pushed too hard, another shot back. This is a PR nightmare. Within minutes, clips of the walk-off were everywhere. Hashtag Hugh Grant walks off. Hashtag Lorraine clash. Hashtag live TV meltdown. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, on fire. Some viewers applauded Hugh. Finally, a celebrity who refuses to play the game. Others sided with Lorraine. Rude, arrogant, and disrespectful. Lorraine was just doing her job. Media outlets scrambled to frame the narrative. Hugh Grant loses temper on live TV. Lorraine Kelly caught in shocking on-air showdown. Who was really at fault? By midday, Hugh's publicist released a short statement. Hugh Grant attended the show to discuss his work. The interview took a personal turn he did not agree to. He stands by his decision to leave. Short, sharp, final. Lorraine's team responded hours later. Lorraine Kelly has always conducted interviews with fairness and warmth. She regrets that the conversation escalated. Regrets, but no apology. That omission did not go unnoticed. Later that evening, Lorraine addressed the incident on her radio program. "I've interviewed hundreds of celebrities," she said. "Most conversations are respectful. This one wasn't." Listeners immediately picked up on the undertone. The divide deepened. Then something unexpected happened. A former tabloid journalist appeared on a late-night talk show. "He wasn't wrong," she admitted. "The industry crosses lines all the time." Hugh just said it out loud. The studio audience applauded. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. Other actors began quietly supporting Hugh. Anonymous quotes, subtle likes on social media, vague comments about boundaries and pressure. A veteran actress tweeted, "Live TV can be kind, or cruel. Depends on the question." Everyone knew what she meant. The next morning, Lorraine arrived at the studio early. Too early. She sat alone in her dressing room, staring at her reflection. For the first time, doubt crept in. Had she pushed too far? A producer knocked gently. "Lorraine, the network wants a meeting." The meeting was tense. Executives spoke about ratings, sponsors, public image. One question hung in the air. Should Hugh Grant be invited back? The room split. No chance. Only with conditions. Never again. Lorraine listened quietly. Finally, she spoke. "I didn't intend to ambush him," she said. "But I also won't apologize for asking questions." Silence followed. Meanwhile, Hugh Grant stayed silent. No interviews. No tweets. No statements. That silence spoke volumes. Days later, Hugh was spotted attending a small charity event. A reporter approached carefully. "Hugh, any regrets about walking off?" Hugh smiled faintly. "No," he said. "I regret staying as long as I did." That quote went viral within minutes. The story evolved, from a walk-off to a broader debate. Where is the line between journalism and intrusion? Do celebrities owe the public access to their private pain? Viewers began rewatching the clip, slowing it down, analyzing tone, body language, timing. Many noticed the moment everything changed. The word sensitive. One commentator said it best. When you tell someone they're overly sensitive, you stop listening. Weeks later, ratings for Lorraine dipped slightly. Not dramatically, but noticeably. Hugh Grant's film, however, saw a spike in interest. Irony was not lost on anyone. Finally, during an awards ceremony, Hugh took the stage to accept a Lifetime Achievement honor. The room fell silent. He adjusted the microphone. "Storytelling," he said, "is about truth. And sometimes truth is uncomfortable. But it's still worth telling." He paused. "Especially when it costs you something." The audience stood. Back in her living room, Lorraine Kelly watched the speech. She didn't clap. She didn't frown. She simply nodded. Because deep down, she knew. That fiery clash on live television wasn't about ego. It was about a boundary finally being seen. And once seen, it could never be unseen. "If you want, I can also write."